Hello everyone, it is I, Veritas, and as some of you may know, I am a non-binary person. Ergo, that would also mean that I am a transgender person. Why do I bring this up? Well, it's quite simple. In recent times, there has been an exceptional rise of attacks on us queer people in general, and us transgender people in particular, both within culture and within legislation. Such attacks are of course being spread and promulgated by media demagogues like Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh. The former I covered before, and the latter I'm covering now. Given the fact that I failed pretty miserably in debunking Michael Knowles in that video in my eyes, I decided to bounce back into this subject to debunk anti-trans rhetoric better than before. Not only to fight alongside my fellow trans folk in the fight against bigotry, but to also redeem myself for originally buying into such hateful transphobic propaganda in my earlier years. For this commentary, I will be going over the video where Matt Walsh praises and justifies a pending bill from Tennessee that aims to enact cultural genocide against the LGBT community, hence why Matt Walsh is for it. So, let's get into it.
Moving over to Tennessee, well, we've got the bill here in Tennessee, which also is going to ban the castration mutilation of children.
The castration and mutilation that Matt Walsh is talking about is literally just the concept of surgery. That is it. Matt Walsh is talking about bottom surgery for kids, but he can't say that because it doesn't sound as scary as castration and mutilation. Oh, and I should probably also mention that there really is no bottom surgery for kids in the first place. Gender-affirming care for trans, non-binary, and GNC youth is overwhelmingly, and I must emphasize, overwhelmingly consists of either social transitioning, i.e. different name, different pronouns, different clothes, or puberty blockers, which are completely safe, and any conservative who says otherwise is denying basic empirical reality.
There's another bill that's making its way through the process right now to become law, and that is a bill to criminalize. Well, it's what we're being told is that it criminalizes drag shows or drag shows for children.
I'm sorry, what is that fucking sponsorship? Jeremy's? Gifts for men, not he-hims. First of all, he-hims isn't a noun, bad grammar, Mr. Matt Walsh. Second of all, I assume the latter demographic you are talking about are people who just prefer to be referred to in the third person with he-him pronouns. If that's the case, then you're quite literally saying that most members of the former demographic, men, shouldn't be using this product. Men, the demographic who are supposed to use this product, tend to prefer to be referred to in the third person with he-him pronouns. Hell, everyone who's ever talked about Matt Walsh in the third person has unanimously used he-him pronouns for him. Like, are you seriously advertising a product that you don't even use in the first place?
But that's not what the bill is solely focused on. What the bill actually does is it criminalizes sexual performances for children of any variety.
Even though we already have laws, state and federal, prohibiting exposing children to sexual content, thereby making the supposed goal of this Tennessee bill redundant by nature, you can't fool me, Mr. Walsh.
They have taken that to be an attack on drag in particular, which, like, what does that tell you?
That anti-LGBT reactionaries like Mr. Matt Walsh have mangled and stretched out the definition of sexual to include anything they don't like?
When you say, you know what, we should ban sexual performances for children, and they immediately respond by saying, what, so you think that drag should be banned?
If you're using sexual performance as a dog whistle for drag, then yeah, obviously.
Last week I went to a drag show and I was forced to walk past a mob of masked men with guns and swastikas to get into that drag show.
But the sponsor of the bill, Madison County Republic...
That didn't happen, so that's a lie. That didn't happen.
Are you sure about that? Cause given the drastic rise in far-right bigots showing up armed to drag performances, I would recommend you stop being such a Weasley little contrarian for the sake of being a Weasley little contrarian.
Yeah, if you were to accept the slippery slope argument, I don't see it as a problem. To have some basic standards of decency, especially as it pertains to content where children are involved, that's yes, we should have that. Historically in this country, we've always had that. It's only very recently where we've decided that the government has no role whatsoever in enforcing any standards of decency at all.
Okay, please explain to me what you mean by decency. Like, me personally, I wouldn't have any problem with children, being prevented from seeing some lady deep-throating 13 inches of black cock, but I highly doubt that is what this situation is about. Mostly because it's not about anything related to shit like hardcore pornography, no. It's about us queer people. Monsters like Matt Walsh have been essentializing our existence as inherently sexual. They have convinced huge swaths of equally hate-filled monsters that we're, by our mere existence, predators, creeps, and, well, indecent. We just want to live, period. But no, we can't have other people existing cause people being different is fundamentally evil somehow.
And so if the sexual degenerates and perverts want to expose themselves to kids...
He's talking about queer people.
They don't just claim that it's anti-drag. They say that it's anti-LGBT. So if you want a bill that says you can't put on a sexual performance for kids, you can't like strip and tear your clothes off in front of kids, you can't bring your sexual fetishes out and put on a performance featuring them for kids. If you say that, then they say, well, that's anti-LGBT. What are you saying about the LGBT community? That if we tell you that you can't sexualize kids, that it's somehow, are you saying that this is that sexualizing children is a central fundamental aspect of LGBT culture? Is that what you're saying?
No, you're saying it. You and Tucker Carlson and Michael Knowles and libs of TikTok said it first. You were the ones who drew first blood. You were always the ones who drew first blood. You have done nothing but slander and hurt us. You have essentialized our existence to whatever you arbitrarily decide what our existence means. You have been apologists for the hate crimes against us. You have sexualized us. You have claimed that we are, by our mere fundamental existence, sexual. And yet, you want to claim that we are the oppressors and you are the oppressed. You claim that we, who are constantly subjected to oppression on a daily basis, are oppressing you, who is living in a comfy, soft environment while speaking on a successful conservative talk show that's ranking in the millions? Wow, disgusting. Anyway, that's all for today. Good night, and fuck Matt Walsh.